Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Perks on the Griddle. I think I've got this right, and if I did it right, I've hopefully directed my Facebook folks over to YouTube, and you're catching it now live. Hopefully that's worked out. This is so chaotic for me right now because I'm used to just doing live, so just keep an eye on my griddle for just a minute, and we'll come back and explain that in just a few minutes while I finish getting everything else ready and brought out. I will have the mic on me, so you'll hear me talking in here as we're finishing up the last little bit. My little bride is over here cutting up the pork chops that we're doing, and as you see in the title, yes, we are having pork fried rice for dinner tonight on Perks on the Griddle. One of my favorites to cook. Now, I've cooked this with pork, obviously, and with rice, but I've also cooked it with, one of the ways that I like to do it is with riced cauliflower, and it's pretty good that way. Almost forgot something in the freezer, baby, that a key element to this is the peas and carrots. So she's about got this done. The griddle's out there heating up. We turned it on high so it could start heating up. I'm gonna bring these eggs out there, and you'll bring that out there when you're finished, babe? Thank you. All righty. So those of you that might be tuning in, looking at the griddle, hearing my voice, no, I didn't disappear, at least in thin air. Maybe if I had some fat air, I'd disappear, but I haven't disappeared in thin air. But here I am. I'm back on now. Let me make sure the camera is doing its thing like it's supposed to. Yes, there it is. Okay, and for my daughter's friends and them that loved the sign before, so there we go. They got a kick out of that the other day when I did the one of the shows, and I poked my head around to make sure I was on live, and they used that picture as a meme for something. I don't know. I guess I've still not gone viral. However, YouTube, I have now 5 subscribers. Thank you, baby. Fresh pork chops cubed up in about 1-inch cubes. And we are ready to get this one going. So fried rice, pork fried rice starts out. So we've got the griddle on high, and I have the 2 burners on high. And so we'll put on 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil here. And this is canola. If I had vegetable, I'd use vegetable, but this is canola, which is fine. And so I'm gonna spread this around a little bit here. And then I'm gonna, first things first, is we are going to let this heat up, but we're gonna cook the pork first and get it done and out of the way. So here it is. Strangely enough, I'm following a recipe that I found, and I'll post the link to it whenever the show is over in the comments. But strangely enough, they do not say anything about seasoning as you go along. Matter of fact, they don't put any of the seasonings on until they get to the rice component. Now, I've always believed in, when you cook, you season as you go. You season each component, each element. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So this is the pork, and I'm gonna do simple seasoning because there's some strong flavors that will go in with the rice. So this is just gonna be some salt and pepper. Do a little bit of, oh, look at that piece of pork there, trying to kick up. Put a little salt and pepper on here. There's a little salt. I see people using these little grinder things that have the little blue lights on them. So neat, but there's just something about the old style of spreading it, pinching it, spreading it on there. I feel like I have more control of how much is being distributed and how much seasoning is being put on that component, in this case the meat. So there's that. Let's move this around a little bit. Move these other seasonings up. Salt and pepper, we'll need it again in a few moments. Pork fried rice, and yes, you saw maybe in the description, I believe, if you are on YouTube, and thank you if you are, and if you have gone over to watch the YouTube and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. That can really help me out. I'm trying something, kind of like Survivor, trying that social experiment of seeing if I can build a channel. Pretty neat. Done these things years back, and a good bit, and so just never did go to YouTube. Always did it on Facebook Live, and so I'm going to try to push myself out of my comfort zone and get out of the Facebook Live and just do YouTube. How about that? See how that works. I know I may miss several viewers, but until the channel gets to where it is, to where it needs to be, YouTube won't do anything for you other than it just puts it out there. So I'm trying to see if I can build a little, something on the side, if you will. So having fun with this, still going to have fun with it regardless. So let's flip these joyous little things over here. It says about 3 to 4 minutes. They're little 1-inch cubes, so they won't take very long to cook. There we go. Get them all out there. Had a chance to go up today to Tioga High School. Did a little filming up there with my buddy and partner, if you will, Billy French, who is now over at KALB working with them. So if you need advertisement on the TV, look up Billy French there at KALB. Advertising on the TV, call Billy at KALB. There we go. A little rhythmically there. So got those all turned over to the non-cooked side. The 180-degree turn, if you will. And so that is in the middle of the griddle. The 2 burners here, I've got those set on high. So we went up and did some little filmings, and you're going to see those cut-ups coming out soon to you on the 446 Sports page, promoting Tioga High School football. Look forward to seeing you there. We will be broadcasting all of the 446 Sports, or all of the Tioga High School football games on 446 Sports. We'll also be broadcasting Ash Trojan football. We'll also be broadcasting Buckeye Panther football. We'll also be broadcasting Menard Eagle football. And I did say Tioga Indian football. And we'll also be broadcasting the Pineville High Rebels football. So a lot of football, Central Louisiana football, will be broadcasted live there on 446 Sports. So tune in to us and watch us. But as we will always tell you, go to the game. You can watch us live anytime after, or watch us anytime after. We do the live broadcast not to keep you from the game, by no means at all. We want you to be at the game. The kids, the athletes, the school, all of those want you to be at the game, and we want to help promote that as well. But what we want you to do is tune in afterwards. You can go back and watch it again. You can even tune in while you're at the game. And that's the beauty of it. If you like our call of the game versus what you're seeing there, or you want to tune in for any humorous moments that somebody may chuckle out there, yep, we'll have those moments that'll be there for all. But what we really like to do it for is for those folks that just can't make it. Down in Buckeye for their softball, I've done several of their softball games as well. And Justin Keys, one of the coaches there for softball, His wife really enjoyed being able to tune in. And you might think, oh, well, why isn't the coach's wife at the ball game? Let me tell you why. They have about 70,000 kids at their house. No, I know he's I think they have like 7 kids. I don't know. I may be exaggerating slightly, but he does have a bunch. And so they have some newborns. And so she could not make it to the game with newborns, obviously, or infants. I'll say newborns, but infants. And so she was able to, and when you have sick kids, you don't get them out in the weather. And so it's those kind of situations that we really enjoy, being able to provide that opportunity and that avenue, if you will, to tune in and watch the game. Otherwise, get yourself to the ball game. So I'm glad we were able to do that for her. Next up on here, after we've got the pork done here, next up on the old griddle is going to be these here peas and carrots. These are the frozen ones, and I like to use those. Peas and carrots. So we've done those out here on the griddle. And again, the recipe that I have that I'll post does not call to season these. All it says is to cook them till tender. So we're going to cook them till tender, but we are also going to sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on these too. We're not going heavy-handed. I put a little more pepper on there because that's just good. Pork kind of has its own little natural sodium that comes out of it. But let's try to get some of this pork juice over here. So we'll spread these out a little bit, bust up those frozen bits. My wife is in there probably, if she hasn't started already, doing the egg rolls. Now we like to do the frozen egg rolls. Haven't got to where I've made those by hand yet, but we like to do the frozen egg rolls, and we like to stick them in the air fryer. Now we've done them in the oven before, and they are good, but there's just something about that air fryer. And if you get the right ones, oh my gosh, they are really, really quite tasty. And we went to the Hurry Up Get 'em Place store this time, and so we didn't get necessarily our favorites, but we got some good ones. And for dessert, my sweet bride has already told me and showed me that she picked up, and put some salt on here, a little salt and pepper. All right, peas and carrots frozen, they don't have a lot of seasoning on them, so we're dousing them up pretty good here. I have a fan blowing over here trying to push some of that heat out, so it's not too bad because it's already up. The heat index is high, and there was a warning placed until 7 o'clock today for this area. So trying to do my best to push the heat from this away. But for dessert tonight, apple turnovers. And yes, air fryer as well. So at least we try to cut back a little bit on the oil consumption that we're doing. So only if you call peas and carrots one ingredient, technically it's 2. So we'll say one cook. The eggs are another cook. And then the rice was cooked a couple of days ago, and it's been hanging out in the fridge, chilling. See, I got jokes. I got really good jokes. That's another reason you need to tune into these. You never know what kind of joke you'll miss. The opportunity of reminding me later that it was just absolutely terrible. But that's okay. I love them. Thanks for watching, right? Thanks for watching. And you know what? My co-host on 446 Sports, they're not protected from it either because I give it to them as well. So anything you hear me on or see me attached to, by golly, you can expect there's going to be some kind of a silly joke somewhere in the midst. So even in my classroom, oh my gosh, classroom right around the corner, really quite excited about it this year, especially for our geometry. Looking forward to seeing how the kids respond to this new geometry curriculum that we are going to have for them. Mr. Mike Patterson from Las Vegas, Nevada, came down 3 days, spent some time with us teaching us up, presented the curriculum that he wrote and still uses in his classroom, and has presented it to multiple other states and multiple other parishes in Louisiana, and have seen great results, phenomenal growth in their students. So really looking forward to this coming school year, or this year coming up, with those geometry students, see what those scores do parish wide. So anyhow, school's right around the corner next week. The admin make it back to school. Teachers not yet, but the admin all comes back next Monday, and they'll be there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And now I can speak for Tioga after that. But the week after that, we do our prep days. And so that's where students have activities to do, or I say activities to do. Hold up. Students can come up and get their schedules and things like that, and they'll take care of any kind of schedule issues that they might run into there, and all of that jazz. And that's prep week rather, and that's not next week, but the week after that. A lot going on there too. The week after that, so 2 full weeks left. That's when the teachers go back. That's whenever I go back to school, and we have a bunch of professional development stuff that we go through, our beginning of the year meetings that we always have, and those kinds of things. There's some new changes. Overall, school board has voted on some new changes that we are going to see in dress code and different things that the school board has approved. So I'm sure we will talk about those kinds of things. This is just cooking up a storm over here, even though it's on the far side to be off. I still hear it just sizzling away, but that's okay. So the school board has some things that we're going to have to look at and make some adjustments for us that we haven't seen before, done before. 3 lightly beaten eggs, I'll say lightly, but they're scrambled. And so we're going to put those on here. And we'll cook those up here on the griddle. This won't take long at all. And then we get to have the rice. Then it's the rice time. So again, a little salt and pepper on here. Not a lot. There we go. I love cooking breakfast on the griddle. It is so much fun. Pancakes are always a blast. Bacon, sausage, eggs, hash browns. Oh my, so good. So good. So this egg, like you said, it does not take long at all. There we go. It's nice and scrambled and chopped up there. We're going to shove it over here on top of the meat. Oh, piece trying to get away there. Calling my name. Now. There we go. That's done. Now it's time for the rice. So, for the rice, it's roughly 4-ish cups of cooked rice and cold. So we'll put that on there. Push it all to the middle. Again, have not adjusted the temperatures on the dials. Just these 2 center ones are on. We're going to cut this up a little bit. Like I said, this has been in the fridge for a few days. You can cook it one night, if that's the only thing you're going to do, put it in the fridge overnight, cook it the next day. I have tried cooking rice fresh and putting it and making this with freshly cooked rice. Doesn't turn out real good. It gets really mushy. There's too much water left in it. So what it is about sitting overnight for a little bit and cooling off makes a world of difference. So we got our rice here. Let's start seasoning this up. It says about 3 tablespoons of sesame oil. That looks about maybe 1.5 there in this bottle. So finish that bottle off there. Have to put a little bit more here from this bottle. Brand new bottle is opening it up here. Aha! Oh, the little plunger thing came off in there, so be very careful here, Chuck. Yeah, we'll call it 3. All right. It's not like baking. Baking, you have to be really exact and precise. This, not so much. Just know the flavor of the seasoning. Like, for instance, if that was rice wine vinegar, way too much, right? Those of you that have cooked with rice wine vinegar know exactly what I'm talking about. Way too much. We need some soy sauce. It says about the same amount of soy sauce. Oh, look, this one has a little pop-up lid. So we'll try to get 2 to 3 tablespoons of it in there. And you hear that moisture starting to season a little bit, or sear, or sizzle, I guess. And there's some salt and pepper, so there's some salt. Rice is pretty bland, right? Depending on how you cook it as well. So keep that in mind. If you cooked rice for a meal and this is your leftover, be mindful of how you season that rice and how much you put on it when you're cooking this, because you don't want to bite into a salt lick, basically. All right, salt and pepper. Not very many flavors or many seasonings to put in there. And so we're going to stir this a little bit. Usually I have 2 of them. I guess technically I could use my scraper over there. We want to stir this in real good and get that mixed in and blended. Get all those flavors stirred around. As you see, it's got that, now it's got that brown color that fried rice normally has. I am going to need my other one, so I'm going to have to poke my head in there here in just a moment and ask my wife if she would hand me my other spatula. Hold on just a minute. Keep an eye on that. Make sure that rice don't fly away. Do you have that other spatula? Thank you. She is so on the Johnny on the spot. I'm glad her name ain't Johnny though. That would have me looking at things totally different. All right, so here we go. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's so much more fun having 2 of them to flip around. She's got the curtain closed on me too. I know she hears me in there, because when I stuck my head in before I could say anything, she handed me things. Oh, look at her poke. Peekaboo! She was listening. I gotta talk not so loudly, or I'm gonna get in trouble. Sweet, sweet lady there. All right, so rice, I feel like I'm at that point right now where all we're gonna do now is just shove it all back in there. The eggs, the pork, the peas, and the carrots. We're just gonna blend all this back together and get it stir on. Yes, indeed, we're gonna get it stir on. So we're gonna flip it over, twist it, turn it, just get it all mixed and matched up in there. There we go. And really and truly for me, at this point, because the griddle is still pretty hot, I like to go ahead and turn it off. Turn the griddle off. I turn my gas off. because cleanup is really quite a breeze if you don't have a griddle. I've had Mr. Cole, he was asking me about cleaning his. Mr. Cole's teacher there at Tioga High School, English teacher, phenomenal man of God there. And a great English teacher. We have a blast because I don't English and I don't think he maths, but we have a blast together and we get to sit and talk. He absolutely loves my jokes. Not really. He just says, I'm gonna pray for Miss Stacy when I tell jokes. And I said, well, you should. You should, because she gets it 24/7. He only would get it when I would see him at school. All right, so turn the griddle off. Got it all mixed together here. And you know what we can do is I can actually put all this. I know it's plastic, but I'm gonna have to get one. I saw a YouTube of a guy cooking on his Blackstone, and he had what's called a food shovel. If you know where I can find one of those, would you pop it in the link in the comments for me? That would be greatly helpful, because otherwise I use the 2 spatula system to pick up my food in cases like this. So, can be a little bit of a balance in that, but because of what it is, I'm just going to do one at a time like this until I get down to where I have to use 2 to scoop with. Pork fried rice, perks on the griddle. And yes, indeed, we are fixing to go inside and chow down on this. Been looking forward to this. I was supposed to cook it last night, but it was so hot last night, and I was kind of tired, and I just didn't feel like it. So I opted to run to the border, and we had tacos. Could have cooked those out here too, actually. I'll do that one night. We'll do some, we did those Boom Boom Shrimp street tacos, but I'm gonna do it to where you get the, cook the tortillas and everything and assemble them and all that right out here. We'll do that. Hope you have enjoyed. Hope you made it over to YouTube, and I greatly thank each and every one of you that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. I would love to see that grow, but you know what? If you're watching and enjoying, thank you. That's the main thing. If you're having fun, thank you. If it's encouraging you to go out and cook, thank you. It's not that hard, right? Pork fried rice is really quite simple. It looks like it'd be scary, but really, trust me, folks, if I can do this, ain't no doubt in my mind you can. All righty. I'll give you a little look-see. As they said in one of my favorite movies, Cars. There it is. Pork fried rice. We're going to go inside, chow down on some of this and some of them egg rolls cooked in the air fryer. You know, it's going to be yummy.